siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores.
It feels so good to be honest. Sometimes I think that I lost it. My heart is always exhausted. If there's a line that I'm walking, gonna give you all or nothing. You better just give me something. I bet you think that I'm bluffing. I know I'm extremely lucky.
Always drive, get in the door when I say gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Let my homies slide, don't know what for, but I ask what you know, what do you know, what do you know? The feeling light until no more. When I say that I'm sure, take it all in stride. The pain and hurt, I could be in the dirt.
I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores.
Everyone here is looking for some inner peace. I dig my toes into the sand, I call it Crescent Beach.
I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores.
I got memories, I feel them trying to drag me back into the place I died, it wasn't hell, it was a trap. The lines are blurred, but sometimes I could only laugh, thinking what we had could ever last. Pick up right off Coleman, all this cash is stolen. I know my G is holding, so we can get to blowing. Surrounded but alone, I feel it in my bones. Look how much I've grown, my fuck, I'm finally home.
Always drive, get in the door when I say gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Let my homies slide, don't know what for, but I ask what you know, what do you know, what do you know? The feeling light until no more. When I say that I'm sure, take it all in stride. The pain and hurt, I could be in the dirt.
Take me back, man, we can visit Jennings' grave. If I could tell him anything, I'd say don't be afraid. Say a prayer for Pocarino, cause this shit ain't fair. He was all I had when it was just the music there. We'll never know the truth, what some kids to lose. I think I'm missing screws, this shit all set him loose. Still until this day, the feeling is the same. I hang my head in shame, thinking of those that been slain.
I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores.
NOMAD, hyperspace, Nixon Carter. Yeah, NOMAD, hyperspace, Nixon Carter.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, light it up just like we used to. I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too. Shout out to Jason Cleos, damn homie, I fucking missed you. So many tears shed, walking like we don't feel shit. Say it's in my head, I think you better call it quits. Buried so many friends, don't you think I'm sick of it? It seems like yesterday I packed it up and fucking split. Such a long drive, getting here from A to B, but it made me who I am, man, what can't you see? Everyone here is looking for some inner peace. I dig my toes into the sand, I call it Crescent Beach.
I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores.
I got memories, I feel them trying to drag me back into the place I died, it wasn't hell, it was a trap. The lines are blurred. to drag me back into the place I died. It wasn't hell, it was a trap. The lines are blurred, but sometimes I could only laugh, thinking what we had could ever last. Pick up right off Coleman, all this cash is stolen. I know my G is holding, so we can get to blowing. Surrounded but alone, I feel it in my bones. Look how much I've grown, my fuck, I'm finally home.
Pull the drive, get in the door when I say gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Let my homies slide, don't know what for, but I ask what you know, what you know, what you know. The feeling light until no more. When I say that I'm sure, take it all in stride. The pain and hurt, I could be in the dirt.
Take me back, man, we can visit Jennings' grave. I got memories, I feel them trying to drag me back into the place I died. It wasn't hell, it was a trap. The lines are blurred, but sometimes I could only laugh, thinking what we had could ever last. Pick up right off Coleman, all this cash is stolen. I know my G is holding, so we can get to blowing. Surrounded but alone, I feel it in my bones. Look how much I've grown, my fuck, I'm finally home.
Pull the drive, get in the door when I say gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Let my homies slide, don't know what for, but I ask what you know, what you know, what you know. The feeling light until no more. When I say that I'm sure, take it all in stride. The pain and hurt, I could be in the dirt.
Take me back, man, we can visit Jennings' grave. If I could tell him anything, I'd say don't be afraid.
Check. Yeah, now I can hear it.
I got memories, I feel them trying to drag me back into the place I died. It wasn't hell, it was a trap. The lines are blurred.
Alright, here's Alex's. Oh, I can hear my voice. My voice is too loud. Check. So that's annoying. I do not want to hear my voice. Oh, monitor. Okay, so mic 2. I want to monitor off. Check. Checkity check. We are chickity checking. Check.
Memories, I feel them trying to drag.
So yeah, here's the beat, and now I'm talking over it. How's that sound?
Them trying to drag me back.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Go Fuck Yourself with your host, Hyperspace, right here.
I got memories, I feel them trying to. I got memories, I feel them trying to drag me back. I got
I'm going to chop this, well, I'm going to chop this, Command E, I'm just going to Command E myself all over this damn session. Just going to I'm just going to have my way with it. Now I'm going to hit warp, and I'm warping, and I have to go back here. I'm going to double click this last part and the first part. I'm going to stretch this first part. Now I'm going to stretch these so that all these parts are lining up with one another. I'm just going to do this visually. I'm just going to visually look and stretch these things, and now it should sound much better.
I got memories, I feel them trying to drag me back.
Much better, yes. Alright, Alex is watching.
Oh, he's watching?
Yeah, I'm gonna show him how to do it. Okay.
But don't do an accent, though.
Don't do an accent?
I mean, you can do it every once in a while, but don't do it too often.
Don't do an accent?
Not too often. Hello, I'm Hyperspace.
Hello, I'm Hyperspace. This week's episode of Hyperspace Entertainment.
It'd be funny if
Hello, Alex. Hello. Alright, let's see. Let's get into it then, shall we? Okay, so let's get into live. Okay, I was back in here. Now we're going through these vocals over here. Ariel, just turn that off over there so I don't hear my voice actually, or watch something else. Oh, I stole the TV remote. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. So we are going to finally get into this.
I got memories of.
First thing that I'm doing with most of these songs is I'm cleaning up these vocal tracks. We're like got a lot of vocal tracks, and they can have slight fluctuations in the timing, which can make it just sound really funky and phasey when you go back to listen to it. So what I generally tend to do is I generally take whichever track you leave in the center, and I generally think of that as like your main track, and I try to line up the left and right ones. I'm also going to spread those out a little more to like 19 on both sides. And yep, now I'm going to get in here, and again I'm going to basically try to make these pink ones look like the red one a little more. And I'm just going to go down here, and we're just going to go through. So I'm using Command E to make these separations. Command E is making these little cuts, and then when I double click them, it's opening up down here. So I'm going to go to this one now, and I'm going to hit warp. Oh, another thing too is when we hit warp, we don't want to leave it on beats by default. So we're going to Command A, select all this, and switch beats to complex pro before we forget. Leaving it on beats. Leaving these time stretching things on different settings is going to be good for different stuff. Complex sounds like what you're typically used to thinking of when you think of pitch shifting. Pro sounds more like a formant shift or something like that. So you just got to experiment with them, but we're going to leave everything on pro. And you know, matter of fact, I'm going to go back to the beginning. We're just going to start at the beginning. I don't know how we got in the middle of the song.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kind of special.
Okay, so I'm going to take this first line. I'm going to Command E, Command E, Command E, so I can just take this one section. Now I'm going to hit warp. I'm going to hit yes. It's on Pro already. I'm gonna double click the first and the last one of these arrows, and now I'm gonna start dragging. What the fuck? What happened? What happened? Go back here. I'm gonna double click this first arrow and this last arrow. We're gonna try this again. I'm gonna try to line up these first two so that they look the same. Perfect. Look at that. And now I'm just gonna start stretching these out so they start to look similar. And the closer that these get, the less phase issues you're going to hear when we go to play them back, and it's just going to sound really tight and really nice, almost like it's just one voice that gets stronger as they're layered on top of each other, instead of hearing it and sounding more like it's a bunch of like layered like voices just kind of getting all mushy, messy on top of each other. So now I'm doing the same thing on this one. Just make that a little smaller. Remember, double clicking these little gray arrows up here, and we're stretching them now. We're lining these up. This last one, how's this look? Switching warp, yes. Click back, double click. Yeah, sometimes when you double click it the first time, you can't get the gray arrows up, so you have to click away and then double click it again. Not really sure what this is. I'm not super proficient. But I know how to do this shit. So here we go, stretching, and again I'm just looking and making sure that these all just kind of line up. See that? I'm just kind of doing this visually. I don't even have to listen to it. All right, let's check it out.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special.
Put these on too.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special.
Perfect. So now we're gonna go down here, and I'm just gonna basically do this for all of these vocals. What else would I be doing here?
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special.
Well, let's see.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special.
I could take it so it's like, take you back home. We could take it in on back home. This is another thing I'm doing. I'm usually taking it so I'm not playing all the tracks at the exact same time all the time.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, bite it up.
Yeah, I could maybe do a pattern like that where it kind of builds in a little more. We could try something like that.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, bite it up just like we used to.
So yeah, I might do something like that, but first and foremost, we should get this whole thing stretched before we do any chopping. So now let's just do another example real quick. Command E, Command E, Command E, Command E. Now I'm double clicking. Now we're hitting warp. We're hitting enter for yes. Now we're clicking away. We're double clicking again. Double clicking on the little gray arrows up here. And Command plus will zoom in a little so I can see better here. See this one you actually did it really well, Alex. It's like really almost perfect. And no one's perfect with this stuff. I'd imagine that the best vocalists in the world still have someone that's doing this to them, but I don't know. So here we go. So I'm still stretching, scrolling down, making sure everything lines up. And we get down here, where are we at? Yep. All right, that is starting to look better. This part already looks fine. So yeah, I don't always have to do this, but you'll see when we get to some of them, you'll be able to hear where it gets a little messy in the mix. And if you look at it during these messy parts, you can just see where it goes all over the place, because you'll be looking at 3 or 4 tracks right next to each other that should look roughly the same, that just don't. And yeah, that's where you'll see where you need to go in and do this. So often you don't even need to do this, but I'm kind of a OCD freak, and maybe that does attribute to the quality of my shit. I don't know. Let's see. Remember, double click the first and last arrows. Otherwise, when you start moving these around, you're going to move them all over the place, maybe more than you need to. And then you'll be moving them back later and maybe second guessing yourself where they go. So yeah, starting with the first and last arrow, it should be moving the stuff in between as you're making the slight adjustments as little as possible. And then remember, you're always just double clicking these little arrows and then just moving them. Control, Option, and Command will give you fine tuning when you're moving. I'm not even sure which ones I'm hitting, but if you need fine tuning or something like that so it doesn't snap to a grid, you're usually using Command, Control, or Option for that. Let's check this out.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, bite it up just like we used to. I wanna understand.
What depends?
The command.
Yeah, it does. You know, this stream, I'm talking to my boy Alex right now. I'm pretty sure he's on Mac, so that's why I'm talking about the Mac keys.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, bite it up just like we used to. I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too. Shout out to Jason.
Yeah, I like bringing that back.
Get back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, bite it up just like we used to. I wanna.
Let's bring these up a little more.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, bite it up just like we used to. I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too. Shout out to Jason Cleos, damn homie, I fucking miss you.
So you can see some of this. You can hear it. Some of it's getting a little wonky, but we're just gonna go. See, I can see it right here. Like this one's starting to get away from us. We're gonna hit warp. Just gonna go ahead. Should just hit warp on this whole fucking thing, so I don't have to keep doing that. Yeah, let me just hit warp. I'll hit yes, 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 yes. I just did Command A and I just hit warp on the whole thing. Yes. How many times am I gonna have to do this? Yes. Okay, now those are all on warp, and they're all on pro, warp, pro, all looks good. Let's get back in here.
I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too.
So, let's just cut a selection here. Command E, Command E, Command E, Command E. Now we're looking at this bar. Do that first arrow, last arrow. We're gonna go in here, move this, shift it. Already looks much better. Go to this transient. Move that over there. And start lining these up. Yes, very, very nice. And you see that now that I've got warp selected on all of them, now I'm not going in there and selecting warp every time, but I am having to double click and go back and stuff. I don't, sometimes I have to select it and then go back and select it again to get the arrows to come up. But either way, you just want to get those arrows to come up and then you just start stretching them. Here we go.
I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too. I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too. Shout out to Jason Cleos, damn homie, I fucking miss you. I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too. Shout out. Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, bite it up just like we used to. I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too. Shout out to Jason Cleos, damn homie, I fucking miss you. So many tears shed, walking like we don't feel shit. Shout out.
Alright, let's zoom in, see what we're working with again. Looks great. This is part could be a little bit off, but then we got to move this one back. There we go. And here we go, scrolling down. Looks good, looks very good. Let's tighten this one up a bit. Okay.
Shout out to Jason Cleos, damn homie, I fucking miss you. So many tears shed.
Go just to damn homie on that.
Shout out to Jason Cleos, damn homie, I fucking miss you.
Okay.
Let me take it back home, man, it's kinda special. Put the windows down, bite it up just like we used to. I wanna understand the pain, cause my soul is bruised too. Shout out to Jason Cleos, damn homie, I fucking miss you. So many tears shed.
Very, very good. And I'm gonna hit save. We're gonna save often and do a lot of saving because Ableton crashes.
Let me take it back home.
Very, very good. What else we got?
I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores.
I hang my head in shame, thinking of those that been slain.
I call them siren shores. I call them siren.
I know I'm extremely lucky.
Rolling drive, get in the door when I say gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Let my homies slide, don't know what for, but I ask what he know, what he know, what he know. Let the feeling glide until no more. When I say that I'm sure, I'm sure, I'm sure. Take it all in stride, the pain and hurt. I could be in the dirt, the dirt, the dirt.
I call them.
I was wondering if we could put a drop here or something here. Let's see. Let's see what happens if we get a little creative right here. So take this punch box in. Give it this dubstep kick. So we got. I just got this punch box, really good for doing MIDI kicks. Lots of good presets. Let's see how this sounds. Okay, that'll work.
You better just give me something.
I say that I'm sure, I'm sure, I'm sure. Take it all in stride, the pain and hurt. I could be in the dirt, the dirt, the dirt.
I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores.
Yeah, something like that.
I call them siren shores. 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 I call them siren shores.
Okay, and I can hear my CPU getting a bit fucky because, okay, I can raise my buffer size. Let's do that. Probably because I'm streaming and trying to do cool stuff. Let's try this. And let's definitely get a nice clap in here before we get too crazy. Give me a good one. Give me a good clap. Yep. Okay. Oops. Alright, so now I'm throwing a little beat together right here. Let's see what it sounds like.
I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores.
Good start. I have no idea what key this song's in. Lucky guess.
I call them siren shores.
Oops.
I call them siren shores. I call them siren shores. I call them siren
Pretty
shores.
good what this might sound like.
I call them siren shores. 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 I call.
Oh yeah, that's a dope one. Let's check this out. Yeah, stop making fun of me. Ariel's making fun of me because it's dope. Let's try that.
I call them siren shores. 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 I call them Shores. I call them Siren Shores. I call them Siren Shores.
Dirt the dirt,
I call them Siren Shores.
dirt the dirt. Bring me lucky holes, rock it in the door when I say gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Let my homies slide, don't know what for, but I ask what he know, what he know, what he know. The feeling light until no more. When I say that I'm sure, I'm sure, I'm sure. Take it all in stride, the pain and hurt. I could be in the dirt, the dirt, the dirt.
I call them Siren Shores. 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 I call them Siren Shores.
All right, and that was super dope. Why? Let's make it sound a little better though, real quick.
I call them Siren Shores. 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 I call them Siren Shores.
Woo! Oh, that's a lot of OTTs. Hold up. Too much. Yeah. Okay. And that's today's stream. Hope